La patrulla fronteriza le está dando prioridad a familias con niños y a personas vulnerables, aunque la mayoría de los que están llegando aquí son hombres solos. Ahora, cuando los sacan de este lugar para procesarlos, los liberan en las calles de la ciudad de San Diego.
Hello, everyone. We live in a world where an immigrant like Elon Musk says, let's make crime illegal again, and that is considered a right-wing extremist comment. Yep. That's the reality of today. Needless to say, we have to go over various updates, and that includes late trash.
Llegó la abogada. Llegó la abogada, mi amor.
There he was saying his attorney just came in. But after that pathetic performance, now we know he can't even afford an attorney. And yet another disgraceful show-off going down the drain. Anyway, let's move forward with the updates as Joe Biden's open border policy continues. Let's get started. Okay, so some of you were asking for an update on late trash, and here it is. This is per the New York Post. Migrant influencer Lionel, I'm going to call him late trash, okay? Late trash can't afford an attorney despite flashing wads of cash on TikTok. So late trash is having trouble coming up with the money for an attorney despite previously waving huge wads of $100 bills on social media. Late Trash boasted daily in TikTok videos about how much money he'd make from government welfare programs and begging on the streets before his March 29th arrest in Columbus, Ohio. And for the record, he is still arrested. He antagonized fellow migrants and regular Americans alike with incendiary statements such as, and I quote, "That's the difference between you and me. I'm always going to make lots of money without much work. And you're always going to be exploited and miserable and insignificant," end quote. An immigration judge overseeing Late Trash's case keeps pushing his hearings to future dates as Late Trash struggles to put together the money to afford an attorney. And I quote, "He's having financial difficulties finding an attorney for his case," end quote, an ICE source told the New York Post. Furthermore, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives has been weighing possible gun charges against Late Trash, according to internal federal documents previously reviewed by the Post. Late Trash's past social media posts show him holding firearms in a gun store, where he asked his followers, "Which do you like best?" There is no proof Late Trash actually purchased a gun. Finally, following Late Trash's arrest by ICE, the Post spoke with Miss Piggy, or his wife, and she said she hasn't and wasn't allowed to see her jailed husband. And there you go. That's the update on Late Trash. All he needed to do now that he was here was keep his disgusting mouth shut, get a job, and follow simple ICE instructions. And just maybe he would have been okay under this administration. But no, those rules were too difficult for him to follow. Typical idiot. Let's continue on to the next story. Did you hear about that New York high school soccer game that was canceled after a group of migrants refused to leave the field? Well, this is per the New York Post, and the report reads as follows. A high school soccer game at a public field in East Harlem was canceled after a group of migrants refused to leave the pitch so the kids could play. About 40 boys from the Manhattan Kickers and FA Euro New York soccer teams showed up on Sunday, April 14 at Thomas Jefferson Park for a 5 p.m. match. But a group of about 30 men who appeared to be African migrants and spoke little English wouldn't leave, even when the cops showed up. One of the coaches said the following, and I quote, "I directly asked them to leave and some of them kind of took it into consideration. But then 4 or 5 of them said, you know what? F it. We don't have to leave. We can do whatever we want." To resolve the conflict, police asked for a copy of the club team's city permit. But by the time it was able to be forwarded, the game had been delayed 30 minutes and the teams didn't feel safe. The parents said they were rattled by the incident and don't want to play at the field anymore. Go figure. We can do whatever we want. That's correct. That is what is happening right now in this country. They can do whatever they want. They can go on social media, tell everybody how they can abuse the system, how to enter the country illegally, and then even attack the police, disrespect the citizens of this country, and nothing happens. Everything under Joe Biden's amazing administration. Let's jump into the next story. Okay, so Georgia's governor, Brian Kemp, just signed a law where police will be allowed to detain undocumented people. That's what this journalist is saying in this report. Brian Kemp has admitted that this law became a priority after Laken Riley's death. This is the exact moment where HB 1105 became law. Governor Brian Kemp signed this on May 1st, 2024.
People got to come into the country.
There you heard him right there at the beginning. He said people got to come into the country legally, and we support legal immigration, he says. But when you have people that come here illegally and then they commit a crime, like killing someone, we will not tolerate it. The journalist here is explaining how this took about 2 months to be able to become a law. Here, this official says this will only affect those that are in custody for committing a crime in Georgia. If we find out that you are in the country illegally, then we will contact ICE, which is a basic element of safety for public security. Then the journalist continues, according to this law, if a local law enforcement agency violates this code section, their local governing body will have its state and state-administered federal funds withheld. And here is another official saying this will be a lot of work, no doubt about it, but it is a law and all the sheriffs will follow it. Then the journalist states, on the other hand, a lot of people are saying that this is racist. Of course, we were doing so good until now. But she says that the officials replied to this anti-immigrant / racist law. This official says this measure is about public safety. It's for everyone in Georgia. It doesn't matter your race, skin color, or religion. And this other official says this is not an anti-immigrant law. It's an anti-criminal law. Finally, some officials that are not scared to say this is not about race. It is about the safety of everybody living here, including immigrants. But we know the mainstream media loves to go along that big fallacy that, oh, that's just anti-immigration. You guys don't like people of color. Not true. But good, very good for Georgia. Finally, some good news. Let's jump onto the next and final update for today's episode. This journalist says that the border between Tijuana and San Diego has the largest migrant influx today. Border Patrol is overwhelmed in this area. They are unable to process them. They are receiving hundreds of migrants a day. This is Lillian, the director of the Southern Border Coalition, and she says, "We now are the busiest section of the southern border." The journalist continues, in just the month of March, they received around 50,000 migrants. Let me say that again, 50,000 migrants. That surpassed any other section in the southern border, and they are coming from all over the world. And here's Lillian again. She's the one that is assisting the migrants. She says, "We are getting a lot of people from India, from African countries, and Asian countries." The journalist states, "This is where they jump over the border and then they stay behind this second border wall already in the American territory, waiting for Border Patrol to process them." Here, the journalist is interviewing these migrants. They are saying they are from India. It is about 10 of them in just one group, and they have been waiting for 3 days for the processing to begin. The journalist says Border Patrol takes days to get them out of that section of the border. In the meantime, they continue to accumulate by the hundreds without any food or any service whatsoever. This Colombian migrant says, "This is crazy. It is very cold here. We are hungry. We are desperate." The journalist continues, "Right here by the border wall, there is an encampment from organizations and coalitions such as the one that Lillian is working with to help the migrants by giving them food and drinks through the border wall." So she says, "We try to give them some coffee, fruits in the morning, and then during lunch hour or dinner time, we have some soups for them." The journalist states, "The authorities and organizations and people like Lillian are being overwhelmed by the migrant influx." Lillian says their needs are bigger than what we can give them, especially since we are doing Border Patrol's job. Now, I don't know if Border Patrol's job is to give the migrants food, or she means about reporting them first to Border Patrol if she sees them first. She wasn't specific about that, but according to her, in that section, sometimes I guess they are doing Border Patrol's job. Wow. Unreal. Here, the journalist states the following: Border Patrol agents are prioritizing families with children and those that are vulnerable. However, most of those coming here right now are single grown men. Now, once they get them out of this area to process them, they free them onto the streets of San Diego. And just like that, you are free to go. A quick processing, and make sure to tell your loved ones and your family and friends over there that it is that easy to make it into the streets of America. Once again, fantastic. We're doing a great job here, guys. Please don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps the algorithm tremendously, okay? Thank you everyone for the amazing support. And don't forget to check out the shoutout section in the description below. Please let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section below. And yes, follow me everywhere just in case, guys. This is getting intense. I will see you on the next video.